Malek has 6 mouths to feed. He brought his family on a difficult journey to Lebanon from Hula in central Syria while it was under siege 2 years ago. His 2 daughters are mentally disabled and require specialist care.
We came here thinking life has to be better. We lived under siege, but honestly, it wasn't. At first, the UN helped us because of my daughter's situation, but after a year, we were left alone to pay for rent, so we moved into this tent.
Malek and his family now survive on $108 a month from the UN, but he needs $100 to pay for nappies alone. He barters some food and other UN aid items for the nappies, even though he's not supposed to. He's had to borrow money and is in debt, like 90% of the Syrian refugees in Lebanon. It's people living in refugee camps like this that are suffering the most from a lack of aid money. They get some help, but say it's not enough. Most can't find jobs to support themselves. Others are registered to be resettled, but they haven't been moved yet. ABDELKARIM is from Homs. He's been taken off the UN Register of Refugees, even though he lives in a camp. He's told he can work, but he can only find odd jobs.
I just want to understand, am I a refugee or not? Because there's some people here getting aid cards, and I'm looking at myself, and I'm getting nothing. I work 2 or 3 times a week doing these odd jobs. All we want to do is feed our children.
The UN gives aid out in the form of debit cards to be used for food, clothes or fuel. It also distributes things like blankets and stoves. But last year the organisation only received half the funding it had appealed for to help the Syrians who have taken refuge in Lebanon.
We are trying as much as we can to respond to refugees' needs. However, we are often stuck in the decision of choosing the most vulnerable amongst those who are already vulnerable to receive assistance.
Kinda is the mother of 4 children. Her husband Ahmed has a leg injury from fighting in the Bab Amra neighbourhood of Homs 3 years ago. The family can't afford his medical care.
The hardest thing for me is seeing my children ask for something and I can't give it to them. It damages you. For us, the most important thing is securing their education. The humanitarian aid is just not enough. I'm serious. It's not like we are living like kings or begging in the streets. We just want to not have to depend on anyone else, but it's impossible.
Kinda's family are among the thousands of refugees from the Syrian war who hope the UN will help them to resettle in another country. But that depends on another host country accepting them. Until then, they're stuck.